obviously after the aftermath of the Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor fight, one thought that's actually crossed my mind is whether Conor McGregor can ever get over the demons that he's amassed through that particular fight. I mean, there's multiple demons that he's going to have to contend with. One demon that he's going to have to contend with is the fact that I think for this particular training camp against Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor went all in. Like, he literally sacrificed everything he possibly could to win that fight against Dustin Poirier for the third time. I mean, I think you mentioned like, he went in with a more of a violent mentality. He was no longer the nice guy that we saw in the second fight with Dustin Poirier. On top of that, like, he was saying stuff like he tried to get away from his family just to isolate himself and get him to that really dark, violent place. And when he came into the fight, like, he tried to change his stance. He went from a boxing stance to a purely karate stance. Like, in early in his career, he used to have a certain style where he used to throw loads of kicks, and he used to start his fights by throwing kicks. And he tried going back to that for that fight against Dustin Poirier for the third time. Despite everything that he did, all the sacrifices that he made, I mean, he went straight into training camp. As soon as the second fight was over, he went straight back into training camp. Despite everything that he did, it didn't work out, did it? He literally sacrificed as much as he could. As somebody worth like 400 million, he sacrificed as much as he possibly could. And psychologically, for whatever reason, as soon as that fight happened, he just didn't perform. I mean, he did look good for the first minute of the fight, but then obviously Dustin Poirier took over, and now on top of that, his ankle snapped now, so his leg's never going to be the same again. So there's multiple demons that he's contending it with in this particular situation. One demon that he's contending with is the fact that he went all in for this particular fight. He sacrificed everything he possibly could. There's one thing that fighters do psychologically. I think John Jones mentioned it. Like, before his fights, sometimes what he used to do is he used to party like a month or two before the fight, so that if he was ever to lose the fight, psychologically he could actually say to himself that, oh man, I only lost that fight because I wasn't serious about it. That's why I lost. And it's almost like it used to give him psychological comfort. Like, psychologically, he can always say to himself, like, if I really tried, then I would have won that particular fight. And it's a way for fighters to psychologically get over losses. Sorry, it's a way for fighters to psychologically get over losses. They can say to themselves, I would have won if I did this, or I would have won if I did that. But when you get to a position where you go all in and you sacrifice possibly everything you can, and you literally just do as much as you possibly can to get to a position, and then on top of that, after you've done that, you still don't win. I mean, it's a lot for you to take in as a fighter. It's a hell of a lot for you to take in. From a psychological perspective, it's a lot harder to get over a loss where you've gone all in than to get over a loss where, like, you didn't go all in. So just to put it into perspective, in the second fight, he could probably say that he wasn't 100% focused because he was focusing on Manny Pacquiao. He was focusing on his whiskey business. He was doing this, he was doing that. For the third fight, the fact that he went all in and he did as much as he possibly could have done, and he still didn't win. I mean, psychologically, it's a lot to take in. Like, when you do that and you still don't win, what else can you do next time to overcome that? You can't do anything. And on top of that, you got a broken ankle as well. So this is a lot of demons that Conor McGregor's dealing with. That's why the post-fight interview was so violent with Conor McGregor, because I think in his own mind he knew that he did absolutely everything he possibly could have done, and he still couldn't win. He did everything he could have done in terms of his preparation. I'm not saying he was ideal having an injury and all of that, but in terms of how hard he trained and what he did everything he could have done, and it still wasn't enough for him to win that fight. And I think that's a demon that he's going to have to contend with. So my question is, what is Conor McGregor going to do now? Like, how is he going to deal with this demon? He went all in for his first fight, for the second fight with for his third fight with Dustin Poirier, and it didn't work out. And on top of that, now he's got a broken ankle, so he can never kick the same again. And on top of that, like, he's quite bitter and angry at the fact that his career's gone sideways. He's dealing with a lot at this point in time. That's why he's been making comments to Khabib lately. The stuff that he's been saying to Dustin Poirier's wife. I mean, I think this is a man that's going down a downward spiral right now. Despite the fact that he's got all this money and all this success and all this fame and everything is just going for him, he's just not there. Like, mentally, he's just not in the place that he wants to be. He's not happy with all of the money that he's made in his career. He still can't get over the fact that one thing he's bitter about is the fact that Dustin Poirier and Khabib, both of them are very respected by MMA fans, while he himself, they do respect him to some extent because of what he done to the sport. But at this point in time, he's kind of turned into a heel. There's a lot of MMA fans that don't like him anymore. So he's dealing with a lot of demons at this point in time, and whether he decides to go on with his career or what he decides to do with his career, the fact is that he's got all these demons in his head that are haunting him, and he's got a lot of skeletons in his closets. I'm just wondering if he's going to be able to get over that. Maybe retirement is the best thing for him. So yeah, that's my opinion. Tell me what you think. Do you think he can get over all the demons that he's got in his head? Do you think he could get over the fact that he went all in for his training camp on his third fight with Dustin Poirier, and despite all the effort that he put in, he wasn't able to pull it off against Dustin Poirier? If you look at his losses in the past, like against Nate Diaz, against other fighters of that caliber, he's always been psychologically self-aware enough to understand that he clearly lost. But in the Dustin Poirier third fight, he constantly tried yelling at the referee, call it a doctor stoppage, call it a doctor stoppage. It's almost like he didn't want to face the reality that he actually legitimately lost to Dustin Poirier, and that's something that we've not seen from Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor usually does admit when he's actually lost, but this is the first time we've ever seen where he doesn't seem to contend with defeat that well. In the past, when he has had to face defeat, he's been very well at dealing with it. Like, you saw it in the Nate Diaz fight, the rematch. I mean, the first fight, you saw it in his fight against just his losses in the past. He's always found a way to actually figure it out. But this is the first fight where he seems a little bit delusional. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Tell me your thoughts. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think he can get over his demons? I personally don't think he can. I just feel like he's too far gone at this point in time. I could be wrong, because we're talking about a fighter of the caliber of like a Conor McGregor, who's accomplished so much in his career. I mean, he's a 2-weight world champion in the UFC. He's a 2-weight world champion in Cage Warriors. He's done so much in his career, so you can't write a fighter like that off. But generally speaking, I just don't know if he can actually get to that point again. So yeah, that's my opinions about all of this. Tell me your opinions. Like and subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more content coming your way. Peace out.